Hi, I'm Libby Vinson from NJACP, and today is July 1st, day one of fiscal year 2027. So what that means is Governor Sherrill signed the budget, and I first want to thank you for all of your advocacy the last few months. You have answered the call every time we asked you to send an email, write a letter, pick up the phone, post a social media message, but more importantly, many of you came to the State House and you shared your stories with lawmakers. And all of that is so critically important. And I'll start by saying, while we did not achieve the 3% increase in funding for DDD services, our work will continue. We will stay on message. We will double down our efforts. And the momentum that we built the last couple of months will only make our case stronger. And I'm going to ask that you join me in continuing to share your stories. And, not only is it important to recognize certainly that we did not get the funding that we asked for, but what's also important is to recognize that the Sherrill administration did prioritize the DDD community. There were no funding cuts. When you look at what's happening coming down from the federal level and impacts on Medicaid, there were pretty robust efforts in this budget to ensure that individuals do not fall off the rolls. So we want to thank the legislature. I want to thank Carol Murphy, Assemblywoman Murphy, and Senator Zwicker for their leadership, and mostly for their understanding that an investment in the community-based system is an investment in individuals and an investment in the community. So I want to thank them. And so many lawmakers joined and signed on to our resolution. And it's important to recognize that. And that would not have happened without your advocacy, without you being there at the State House, without you sharing your stories on social media. We need to continue that education, because that is what's going to ensure that not only is our funding protected, but also that we continue to get the investments that we need for sustainability. I will also say that in the 11th hour of budget negotiations, there was some play from outside organizations looking to take money from home and community-based services. That's what funds the system. We got together with many other advocacy groups in Trenton and said no. HCBS must remain off the table. So we need to remember that while we need to advocate for funding, we have to always make sure and keep our eye on the ball that nobody comes in and takes funding from us. So again, I'm going to be asking that you continue to answer the call. Have legislators out to your agencies this summer. That is the best education. That's how we build advocates. That's how we have them understand what providers do, how they make possibilities realities for individuals, how they provide the support that enable people to get jobs, make friendships, discover the interests and develop those interests. Providers are side by side with the individuals making that happen, working with families to help overcome individuals' challenges. This is what we're all about, but so few lawmakers really understand. So take time this summer to have them out to your agency. We'll do the hard work. We will set up the visit. We will schedule. We'll get the legislator there. But it's your stories and having the individuals tell about their victories and what they love and what they love to do and how you make it possible to make those things happen. Earlier this month, I had the privilege of being at the STARS event along with our staff and many of you. And I had the honor of presenting a lot of the awards. So I was face to face with the individual handing the award, looking in the eyes of the individual and their loved ones and the staff that supported that individual's achievement. That was such an important moment for me and made me realize that's what this advocacy is about. It's about those achievements. It's about those individuals making strides in their own lives and being supported in making that happen. So please, join me and continuing to tell your story on social, and we will provide the tools. We have social media training online. We have many opportunities for you to share your story and get your message out to lawmakers. Today is my first year anniversary in this role, and I can say when I stepped in, I knew I had a lot to learn. Now starting year two, I feel like I have so much more to learn in year two. And it's because of you, your education, your being so generous and welcoming to your agencies. If I haven't been out, please, I would love to come out and see the services that you provide, the individuals that you support. I am more hopeful now going into year 2. Even though we didn't get the money, I'm seeing the traction that we're making. I'm seeing more lawmakers saying, yeah, I get it. So we need to stay the course, and I hope you will join me in doing that. I just want to pivot a little bit from advocacy to some of the resources that we have for you as membership. We had many constituency groups this past month, from HR and day services and youth services. We had Perform Care, which is the point of entry for families looking for services for the loved one. Join us for our meeting last month. If you are in the children's system of care, please join the youth services constituency group. I think it's important that we advocate in that area in a greater way in this coming legislative cycle. And we need the education from you and the engagement from you to direct us to where we need to go. We're going to be having meetings throughout the summer. Please join us for those. Stay tuned. We're going to be actually we're moving from Zoom to Teams, which will be an opportunity for more interaction in our meetings and opportunities to ask questions of each other. So please stay tuned for that. And in the fall, of course, we have our great event where we honor the DSPs for our Heroes event in September. They make this whole system possible. They are the foundation of the community-based system and really why we advocate so hard for investment from the state. So we ask that you take a look at that information on Heroes when it comes out and take the time to honor someone from your agency. And then in November, we're going to be having our executive forum, which is going to be taking a look certainly at the election that just happened, the midterm election, the impacts in New Jersey, and we'll be having some thought leaders in the space of IDD. There's so many areas for you to connect, and I hope that you will join us. Don't be discouraged on this July 1st. Be encouraged the way that I am, because we are going to build upon the momentum and we will get that funding. And at the same time, we will protect what is ours. So please join me, have legislators out this summer, and thank you for your support and engagement this past year. I look forward to working together going forward.